So, over the last week, Xdefiant has basically taken the internet by storm and has caught a lot of people's attention. And it's just good to see that, oh, hey, we have a new first person shooter game that's not Call of Duty finally. And it's finally a breath of fresh air, meaning that we finally have a good first person shooter game that is actually a competition for Call of Duty for once. And you think, with all the positive praises this game has been getting, you think that this would be good for Xdefiant, right? Well, unfortunately not, because there have been a lot of Call of Duty fanboys that are just mad at Xdefiant, and they're just jealous that Xdefiant is more successful right now than the dumpster fire that is Call of Duty, and they have gone out of their way to, I don't want to say sabotage, but they've gone out of their way to just give Xdefiant a bad name, and they're just intentionally review bombing this game to oblivion. Now, before I do get on with this video any further, I have made a couple videos already talking about Xdefiant. The first video talked about was basically how the game was unplayable, at least for the first day. But then the next day after that, in like the late afternoon, I made a separate video talking about how Xdefiant was better and the servers were finally more stable. And now a whole week has passed since the game came out, and a lot of people were really enjoying this game, but the Call of Duty fanboys, like I've already said, have not taken this so lightly. So I decided to do a little check on Metacritic, and the game has not really been that well received, and we all know who to thank for that. And of course, to be fair, there might be some genuine people out there that really don't like Xdefiant, and that's fine and all, but most of what I've seen, at least on Metacritic from these reviews and everything, I just see a lot of people, well, at least the Call of Duty fanboys, just complaining over on the Metacritic page, and they're just intentionally giving some of the most dumbest reviews that I've seen in such a long time. So I'm going to show you some of this stuff, and then we're going to talk after, so go ahead and take a look. So if we go over to the Metacritic page for Xdefiant, if we scroll down, we can see the game sitting at a 4.5, which is not stellar. And we can take a look at the ratio. We have 34% positive reviews and 51% negative reviews. So that's not a good sign for Xdefiant. And if you ask me personally, I would argue to say that the positive review score should be higher, but unfortunately it's just getting overshadowed with all of this negativity and everything. Now again, to be fair, there might be some people that do genuinely not like this game, and they did give some honest reviews on this game. And you know what? Again, I understand that and I get it and all, but the game has only been out for 1 week, and the only issues that I've noticed with the game was the servers basically being unplayable for literally the first day when the game launched. But the next day after that, everything was running smooth as butter since then. So, now that we looked at the review score and everything, let's take a look at some of these reviews. And if you ask me personally, like I said at the start of this video, these reviews are just some of the worst reviews that I've seen in a long time, and they just feel like complete nonsense to me. So let's get started, shall we? Terrible! To say it hasn't got skill-based matchmaking, every lobby is still full of sweat, so it really makes it no different to COD. Jesus Christ, is it really that hard to make a first-person shooter for a casual audience? Also, hit registration is awful. I can put 4 bullets into someone before I'm even seen, and I'm the one that dies. Just don't waste your time with this. It's shockingly bad. So, this is usually expected from a Call of Duty fanboy when they intentionally write reviews like this. 2 words for this person: skill issue. That's all that needs to be said. Let's move on to the next review, shall we? Cheap pay-to-win copy of Call of Duty. Only good thing is that it's free to download and free to uninstall. In what way is Xdefiant pay to win? Last time I checked, the battle pass in that game is pretty healthy in terms of, oh yeah, there are no real pay to win mechanics here. I mean, to be honest, the last time I saw the battle pass, it was just full of junk, nothing really interesting except for like the weapons. But dude, the weapons you can unlock for free, and or you can unlock them by completing challenges. So, there's nothing pay to win about X Defiant here. So, let's move on to the next review. I hate it! Horrible gameplay. It's literally bleep. I think they're trying to say shit, but let's continue. Gave it a chance, but it's not it. Don't play. COD is way better. Just stick to it. Is definitely not a COD killer. More of a COD booster. Once again, this is expected from a Call of Duty fanboy. This person clearly did not give this game enough time and clearly did not give this game a chance. He probably literally played one game and literally had like 2 kills and 12 deaths, and he just immediately rage quit and just left a horrible review. Once again, this person has a skill issue. This is another one of those BS reviews, dude. So, hate to break it to you, but you just didn't give the game a fair chance. What's that old saying that the Dark Souls community says to their opponent when they whip their butts and everything? Get good, or something like that? I think that's what they say. So, as the Dark Souls community would say, get good. I hate to break it to you, but like I said, it takes a lot of practice. Now, personally, I suck at Xdefiant, but I really enjoy playing this game. You know, I enjoy playing Xdefiant. Now, I want to play this game more, but I just have so many things on my plate right now. I have other videos on my shelf right now that I want to make. I have a custom campaign for Wargroove I need to work on, so I got my hands pretty full at the moment. But besides from that, let's move on to the next review. Matchmaking is the worst I've seen in a long time. Extreme desync. People killing you when you are behind a wall. That like literally happens with every single shooter game. I don't know if you noticed this, but there's a thing called bullet penetration, and you can shoot enemies through the wall depending on how tough the environment is. I think that anyone with a brain can put this together. Like, it doesn't take that much effort to just shoot at a wall that you saw an enemy run behind. And like I said, if the environment's weak enough, you can shoot through that wall and damage the enemy on the other side, but the damage is like reduced because the bullet goes through the wall and all that technical stuff, or whatever you want to call it in terms. But man, and the fact that the person is complaining about desync, I hate to break it to you, but live service games are never going to be perfectly in sync and everything. There's going to be occasional stutters and everything. There's going to be the occasional lag. And worst case scenario, there will be times where you will lose connection to the match in the lobby and you'll lose all that progress even in that game. Worst case scenario. So, yeah, that like happens with every live service game. Folks, I think we can all agree that most of these reviews are just from Call of Duty fanboys that either have a skill issue or they're just jealous that Xdefiant is more successful than Call of Duty and they refuse to admit it. So, I don't know if any of you folks have played Xdefiant yet. I mean, the game has been out for at least a week now, and I would recommend you give this game a try. It's definitely a lot of fun, and I think you folks are going to enjoy it. But if you don't like first-person shooter games, then I get it. You don't need to play it. But man, I definitely would mess with Xdefiant. So, with this being said, thank you everyone for watching and for listening. And until next time, I'm talking about how Call of Duty fanboys are losing their minds over Xdefiant's success. And I'll see you all later.